Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Trailmakers, and today I'm going to be attempting to recreate a working boomerang in Trailmakers. Now, returning boomerangs are very precise aerodynamic creations, and you may be wondering, ScrapMan, Trailmakers aerodynamics aren't the same as real-life aerodynamics. How is this even going to work? Yeah, you just may be right. This might not work. That might be a possibility. But I'm gonna cover myself by saying not all boomerangs are designed to come back. So if we throw something that doesn't come back, it doesn't mean it's not a boomerang, okay? But my goal is to actually create something that will return. Now, first off, we're gonna need to build a throwing machine that can actually throw this boomerang. So I think I'm basically going to create a static turret that anchors to the ground that I can aim in any direction and that has like a really, really fast throwing arm. And once that works, then we got to get to the difficult part of making an actual boomerang creation that might be able to return to us. I don't know. So let's build the base first, and we'll have some fun by testing it out by throwing random objects, and then we'll get on to trying to throw a boomerang with it. Here we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my prototype throwing machine design. Now, I'm a little bit concerned because this is the fastest I can really get it to swing, and this isn't quite as fast as I was hoping, so I'm not sure how much throwing power we're really gonna have with this, to be honest. Because I want to throw it kind of like, I want it to be like a boomerang. I want to throw it like a boomerang, and the angle is probably going to matter, so that's why I have like complete controllability over the angle and stuff. The next obstacle is releasing it on time. So I think I'm gonna try to use a little bit of a combination between sensors and logic to make it so that when I press a button, it'll always release in the same spot, and I can adjust that spot by where I put the sensor. So let me see if I can accomplish this. All right, so I think I've hooked up an appropriate logic system. So if I press space, it shouldn't release. Okay, good. But if I press space while it is triggering the sensor, it should release. So I'm holding space now. Oh, perfect, perfect. Let's do an initial test now. Let's actually throw this engine and see if we can get any actual results out of this. Oh boy, oh, this is wobbly. The weight distribution is going to be an issue. All right, here we go. I'm gonna hold space and it worked, but the trajectory is absolutely horrible. So now I can just fine tune by changing where I place the sensor, and that'll change the release point so we can get an optimal release point. All right, so I've actually changed it so that the sensor is on top of a servo, and I can just set the angle of the servo to whatever I want to fine tune the angle of release. So now I have it set to 45 degrees before its previous position. So let's see how this works now as a release point. All right, and 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, that was pretty good. I hate how uneven, like I hate how wobbly this is though. I might even consider just getting rid of that servo for turning back and forth, that might not even be worth having. I don't even know. It just seems to be the cause of so much wobble, and I don't know if I like that. All right, but let's experiment with 60 degrees now, and let's see if this release point is any better or worse. Yeah, this release point is actually gonna be like much higher, I think. Let's see how it goes. All right, here we go, and release. Oh, that is way better. Way, way better. All right, I think it's pretty much time to start working on a boomerang now. All right, so boomerang. This is where things are gonna get interesting. I think I'm gonna use the small wing. And from the minimal research I've done on boomerangs, they seem very dependent on having this bend in the middle of them. So we're gonna create a bend using this. Oh no, how am I gonna get it to stay on though? If I want to have this bend in the boomerang, I really think I need to have a mechanical piece in here, but I need this mechanical piece to also be triggered. So I need to make room for a trigger, and this is just gonna add so much more unnecessary bulk to this thing that I didn't plan on having. I don't know how viable this is going to be honest, but I gotta try it. All right, what do you guys think about this? I think this is looking okay for a boomerang so far. Imagine if this is all I actually need. You know what? I'm gonna try it. Let's just attach this thing to the throwing machine and just see what it does. I mean, I think it's worth trying before I start adding too many other features to this thing. All right, we're winding up. 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Not quite the result I was expecting, to be honest. It's actually too light. How do we add more weight to this thing? I'm gonna do that again. I just want to see that happen again. All right, and throw. Yeah, it has no stability. Oh wait, why isn't that folded anymore? How come that one's not folded, but the other one was? All right, there we go. Now it's folded. What made it stop folding? They should still... Oh, okay, that didn't work. Okay, work this time, please. There we go. All right, it is definitely... Wait, why does it unfold? The first one worked fine. See, it's still folded. These ones... That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on, let's look at the programming here. Yeah, so I have an altitude sensor set to -500 meters. So if it's above -500 meters, it should be triggering the steering hinge. And you can clearly see that these are on, so they should be triggering the steering hinge, but they're not triggering the steering hinge. So what is the deal with that? You can see that it's still active. The green arrow means that it's active, and only one of them is actually hooked up to it, and it shouldn't matter if both of them are hooked up to it. So I'm confused about that. The first one was still successful. All right, we'll worry about the bend later on. We need to worry about weight right now, because this thing is just not heavy enough to fly through the air. So actually, I'm kind of curious. What if instead of using a steering hinge in the middle, what if I use one of these in the middle? So it's actually going to be a lot heavier and bulkier in the middle. And then the wings are just on the outsides of it. This could be interesting. And we should now have a new boomerang design that is heavier. Does it work? It looks like it works. All right, let's do a test and see if this is any better. All right, and throw. Nope, and it's still, why doesn't it stay bent? It has its own independent trigger. Oh, what if I disable the seats connection to the servo? Does that help? No. No, that doesn't help. All right, well, we still have the issue of these things being too heavy, so let's try to figure this out still. All right, this is gonna be a little bit extreme, but when it comes to things that weigh stuff, these are the biggest ones, so I'm just gonna replace those blocks I had to attach these to the servo with 30 kilogram blocks. So we're taking this from like weighing 3 kilograms, or actually weighing like 7 kilograms to weighing like 67 kilograms. So this might not even throw properly now. And let go. Let go, please. Oh. Okay. Okay. I don't know what to think about that. It kind of went straight. It didn't even like rotate at all, which I guess kind of makes sense a little bit. I knew this was going to be like difficult or impossible to make in Trailmakers, but for some reason I wanted to try it. All right, so now that this thing weighs a lot and doesn't rotate, I'm gonna add some wingtips onto this, which means it's not gonna be attached anymore, but I'll deal with that in my own way. All right, let's see if these wingtips make any difference, and throw. The sensor isn't working. The sensor's not being triggered. This is hard. All right, there, that should trigger the sensor. Let's try this again. Yeah, there we go. All right, please work, please. You know, if it stayed bent, this might work, but for some reason, it's not doing that anymore, and I don't understand because the first test worked fine. You can see it's still bent right here. Every single other test is now unbent. You know, what if I put it on a hold position? Nope. I've also tried putting it on toggle, and that also immediately unbends it. Let's try hooking the seat back up into it, and then deleting the seat controls from it. Nope, instant unbent. Oh, is there any way to keep this bent without putting a seat on this thing? All right, I'm just gonna try something other than an altitude sensor. Let's just try a proximity sensor. All right, it's working while it's attached. Will it work while it is unattached? Nope. This is discouraging. I just want to know why it worked the first time. I didn't change anything, and then it stopped working. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try something here. I just realized I can pick up the original working version of it, and then when I drop it back in, you can see it actually still stays bent. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna save this. All right, so now what happens when I bring it in on its own? It's corrupt? What? How is it corrupt? Is this really, like, was this really not supposed to work from the beginning? Oh no. What if I do a different one? Are these ones the uncorrupt versions? Save this one. All right, bring it in. That's corrupt too? Okay, maybe the detaching it and trying to save it again just corrupts it. I hope I didn't corrupt my entire thing. Like, what if I save this now? Can I respawn this back in? Yeah, I can respawn this back in. Okay, so that's good. Why am I always breaking the game in some way? What have I done? All right, I've got one final idea to try to make this thing stay bent after it detaches. What if the sensor itself doesn't work, but what if a gate will work? So I'll have the sensor go into a gate, and then the gate is going to be the thing that triggers the servo. All right, so it's working while it's attached. Will it continue to work while it detaches? Oh my goodness. All right, I don't know if there's a way to have a boomerang shape, and I'm trying to make a boomerang video. You can see the wasteland of my failed attempts at just getting these things to stay bent, and the one success just laying there taunting me. My very first attempt was successful. So now I need to come up with some type of workaround that probably isn't gonna work. All right, guys, I got a new design. I don't know what to expect with this, but as you can see, it's mostly just aesthetic using the angled aerodynamic pieces, but then in the middle, we got spoilers that are facing in opposite directions. So on one side, they should provide up force, on the other side, they should provide down force. But the fact that they're still like linear, I don't know how that's going to affect things, but I'm just kind of throwing things at a wall and hoping it sticks. So wish me luck on this one. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, release. You know what? I think this needs to, I think I need to be rotating this because I'm not releasing it with any type of rotation. So let me see if I can figure out a way to add that into the release. All right, I've made some modifications to this thing. I have no idea what to expect with this, but now you can see it'll actually start spinning as I throw it. So I don't know what to expect. Let's give it a try though. This is just getting ridiculous, the amount of little modifications. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, throw. Boy, just a few more modifications and this thing's gonna be working absolutely perfect. All right, I got a new design here. I don't really know why I would expect this to work, but let's just see what happens. Yep, this isn't working. I'm just using these for weight, just to add some weight to the end. And nope. It doesn't even stay spinning. All right, guys, so I've just figured out that although the sensors will not keep steering hinges or servos active, they do seem to keep thrusters active after they have left the original creation. So I'm just gonna try it with that and to keep it spinning, and we'll see if that makes a difference. Here we go. That was like almost better. Here, let me see. Actually, without these thrusters, let me see if I can use this to keep the servo, and that way the servo itself will be spinning, providing that torque. Oh yeah, there we go. And does it stay active? It does. Why do these work, but not the hinges or servos? Well, that is a servo, but I can't set a specific angle like I want to. All right, well, we're just gonna roll with it. Here we go, and go. Despite how terrible that was, I think it's the best result we've had so far. Let's try it again. All right, and go. Oh, it is so bad. It is definitely not coming back, that's for sure. All right, guys, I think I actually had it rotating in the wrong direction. It was kind of hard to tell, but I think I got it right now, and I did one test throw so far, and look at that. It's not curving back, but it is the most, like, boomerang style flying through the air I've seen so far, at least if I'm being technical. All right, yeah, it is definitely rotating in the right direction now, so look at that. That looks great. Like, that is a non-returning boomerang right now. That's the first time I can say that this actually looks like a boomerang is flying through the air. Now, the returning part is, I don't even know what to do about that. Look at that. I just have all these things all around. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and reset so that everything disappears. There we go. All right, let's do another throw here. See how it looks. And hey, look at that. Now, the way that it should be working is this whole boomerang should be rotating in this direction right here, which means that this spoiler should be providing a force in this direction, while this one provides a force in this direction, which should cause it to kind of tilt in as it spins, which gives it a type of gyroscopic precession, which causes it to also rotate in, because that force will be applied as it rotates, and that's just not happening. Which kind of goes back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, where I said that the aerodynamic forces in the game don't 100% replicate reality. So I don't know if we can even achieve what I'm trying to achieve here. I don't know why, but like, I'm out of ideas, so I just kind of want to keep throwing it and hope for a different result. Oh, you know what? Maybe the angle that we're throwing it could matter. Here, I'm going to try a steeper angle. Oh, no, we hit the ground. Okay, that doesn't work. Let me make some longer legs so we can make a steeper angle here. This looks a lot more compact now, doesn't it? Let's see if this works at all. All right, let's go ahead and rotate ourselves. There we go. Yeah, much steeper angle now, and throw. Is it even giving like a hint of trying to curve back? I can't even tell. Oh, that doesn't look right. It looks like there's some floaty things around, like the servos aren't even attached anymore. Oh yeah, there's definitely some issues with detaching the spinning servos, that's for sure. All right, well, this I think is the best version that we have so far, so I'm gonna save that. And now I'm gonna make some I'm gonna change it so that we don't have the servos in here and it is just thruster based. All right, so now as you can see, the boomerang isn't gonna be rotating anymore until after its release. So I don't know what kind of effect that's gonna have, but let's see what happens. And release. That's not so bad, actually. Yeah, that's really not so bad. Ooh, I just got an idea. I think I can have it rotate without needing the rotating servo to stay on the boomerang. All right, here we go. And throw. Ooh. There were some interesting effects there. That was a little bit different. But the more I'm trying this, the more inconsistent it actually ends up looking. Like, and it seems to like be slower now. All right, I got one final option. I haven't been releasing from the end of it like you should a normal boomerang lately, so I'm just gonna try it with this version of the boomerang that I have. Yeah, it looks like I could attach it right on the end here, so let's give this a try. Okay, here goes nothing. 3. Okay, please don't explode. Don't. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can definitely say that this definitely doesn't work great. I think we could technically say it works because the original boomerangs weren't designed to come back because they were actually weapons designed to be thrown at something. So, you know, if something was in front of that, perhaps it would get very hurt. But obviously, these boomerangs are not very fond of us since they don't seem to want to return. to their owner after all I've done for it. So sometimes I do experiments in Trailmakers that are bound to fail, and it looks like this may have been one of them. Now, I don't know if there's a way to actually successfully make a boomerang in Trailmakers without kind of hacking it and having it work with some weird physics exploit or something. But if there is, clearly I don't know how to do it. So that just poses the question, how can does boomerang in Trailmaker? How can does boomerang? I can't does the boomerang. It's getting worse. Okay, I should probably stop now. Leave a like if you enjoyed watching me just completely fail at this experiment. And if you want to see more experiments in Trailmakers, then you're going to want to browse this playlist right here. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.